I hope the people back home see that we are here, but we are crying for them too.
Absolutely. We have to work together. But right now, in England, in London, there is Scotland is actually calling for a referendum. They want to get away from London. We can't keep killing ourselves. The Boko Haram bombing a lot of places. The Igbos are being bombed. The churches are being bombed. The UN building is being bombed. People are being killed, and there's no government in place. Basically. There's no infrastructures, there are no roads, there's no water, the people are just basically suffering and continue to do so, and the government officials continue to steal from their own population. We think it's criminal, we think it's satanic, we think it's evil. Thank you so much.
Alright, thank you.
This is a global movement.
Yes.
We are all together. When Nigerians stand together, OWS stands with them. Every time that we have an action, we stand for everyone around the world. And I heard Nigeria was coming here today, and I knew that I had to be here.
Thank you.
Our brothers from OWS knew that they had to be here.
Thank you.
Our sisters from OWS knew they had to be here. And every time Nigeria comes together to lift their voices, we feel the pain that Nigeria feels.
My name is Olamide. Alright, we're here with Miss Olamide. You see how beautiful she is? Thank you. She has a lot to say about Nigerians. She's going to put a lot of things in her head. So what do you have to say about the fuel subsidy?
Well, I think it's a very bad move. We have a lot of people suffering in Nigeria. We have like the minimum wage is like $2 like for the average Nigerian, and you want people to like pay $140 for gas. That's just doesn't make no sense. So we're here to like say we support the Nigerian people against this fuel subsidy removal. I'm freezing. I'm sorry. Removal. Yeah. So that's why I'm here.
But thank you. It was nice that you came outside to like support us, because it's really cold, and it's really nice to see that people are actually coming out and want to say thank you.
We want more people to come out, like we want the branch to come out and say something. We want all those people to come out and say something. Those that voted for Jonathan, and they should all come out and say something. This guy is not doing the right thing. You know, we have to talk.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity. Solidarity forever. Solidarity, yo. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for rights. Solidarity forever. Solidarity. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights.
My name is Ibrahim Ahmed.
Okay, you were part of this thing that's going on?
Yes, I am part of it. Because I'm Nigerian.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
Alright, what do you have to say about the fuel subsidy and everything that's going on in Nigeria?
Well, I don't know if what I am going to say is going to be the most important statement to make, but I am humbly saying that whatever I will say has already been said in a perfect way, in a better way, by Nigerians, not only in Nigeria but also outside Nigeria, like I am and the other people that are here. Each and every one of our statement or what it means is significant to send a message to the President of Nigeria and his cabals.
That's really interesting. I mean, it seems like everybody, like, we are tired of all this thing that's going on. Like, we've been so quiet for a long time, and right now, like, we are so, like...
All I can tell you is that I know little by little a drop of water make an ocean. The time has come that the drop of water is actually going through the same canal in order to go to bank in a organized space. That is exactly the example of what Nigerians are doing. The one who is broken because of the situation that Nigerians put them through, the ones who are being victimized by the psychological impact of how poverty the leaders of Nigeria made Nigerians, are now getting their minds back together in order to fight for their right that they believe that is a common right.
Okay, let me explain why we are here. We are here to protest against the corruption going on in what is called Nigeria.
That's right.
We are here to protest against IMF collaboration with Nigeria to steal our resources from our population. We are here because Nigeria and its people are suffering. We are here because we are against evil and against oppression. That's why we are here, and that's why we are gathered here. We are here to speak up against the UN collaboration with Nigeria, because we heard last time that a UN representative, I forgot his name, complimented Jonathan, who's actually collaborating with oil corporations to steal our resources, and that's what we are here to speak up against. Ngozi Okonjo is former Vice President World Bank. Today, Jonathan came to the Washington DC to kneel down and beg her to come back to work with them. Right now, it's Ngozi Okonjo and IMF and World Bank that is engineering the implementation of the oil subsidy removal, so that our people can suffer, so they can take our oil, our money, and go to build big businesses here in the US, in Swiss bank, here in the United States, and that's what they are doing. It's not helping our people. Our resources, our own money is being used to sponsor banks and put in big corporations, so it's not helping our people. That's why we are saying that you can't remove the oil subsidy. If you want to remove the oil subsidy, you have to phase it out. There has to be a program that will help the people to create jobs, employment, to create infrastructures, to create better education, to help our people get better education. That's why we are here. We are speaking up against the corruption back home. We are speaking up against bad roads. We are speaking up against unemployment. We are speaking up against lack of infrastructure. We are opening our mouth to speak up because poor education back home. There are no libraries, the roads are not built, there is no clean water. The gutters, the sewage system is non-existent. The whole gutter is open and people have diarrhea, diseases all over them. And that's why we are speaking up. And that's why you are gathered here today to listen, so we can protest and let the United Nations know that we are here to support our people back home. There is rally going as we speak in London, in UK, of course, in Switzerland, in Australia, in Atlanta, in Chicago, in Houston, in Lagos, California, New Jersey, whatever you can name. It's a global movement, and you are part of the global people, and that's why we're here today, to rise up against oppression, to rise up against oppression, to rise up against corruption, to rise up against multinational cooperation that is looting from our people. That's why we are here, and that's why we will continue to march, and this movement will continue to increase, and that's why we are occupying Wall Street, that's why we are occupying Nigeria House, that's why we are occupying the UN, that's why we are occupying IMF and World Bank, that's why we are rising up against World Bank, that's why we are rising up against IMF, that's why we say enough is enough against Nigeria. Enough is enough. Solidarity forever.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight our rights. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Listen to this.
Great people!
Great!
Great people!
Great!
Great people!
Oh, I will do this until my life. I mean it, because I love Nigeria so much. I remember while we are here, we see people coming from Nigeria. They come here to buy houses for their children. They come here to buy houses for their cars for their children. They come here to take their family to the hospitals. They come here enjoying the actual amenities that the government of this country providing for their nation because of the good leadership they are showing. As a result, I'm going to do this until one day I'll be able to be inviting people from this part of the world to say that let's go to Nigeria for vacation. That's why I feel like I'm obliged to be part of this group.
Thank you so much, sir.
It's not just about the fuel crisis or the increase in Nigeria, but it's about our role, our ability as people to change the world. Because now we think think that power lies with the government, but power actually lies with us, the people. And until you and I recognize that, then that power begins to manifest itself. Then we take control of the state. So let's understand that as I just greet you and close out, you know, great people!
Great!
When I remember progress, water run away me, ayo. Aye, water run away me, aye.
When I remember Nigeria, water run away me, ayo. Aye, water run away me, aye.
Water remember Nepa,
Water run away me, ayo.
aye, water run away me, aye.
When I remember Naija,
Aye, water run away me, aye. And I remember aye, water run away me, aye.
when I remember Mortuary,
I remember that too. Aye, water run away me, aye.
when I remember Moko,
I remember Kilango. Aye, water run away me, aye.
when I remember Jonathan,
I remember that too. Aye, water run away me, aye.
wait.
I go to you, politician, I go to you. Politician, I go to you. Politician, I go to you. Jonathan, 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 I thief you. Ngozi na bastard o, ọmọ ẹran.
World Bank na thief o, na thief o. World Bank na thief o.
We just it makes sense. I understand what you're saying. We have the right to walk.
Police kúrò lọ́nà o. We no be passenger. Police kúrò lọ́nà o. We no be passenger. Police kúrò lọ́nà o. We no be passenger.
Police kúrò lọ́nà o.
We no be passenger.
Police kúrò lọ́nà o.
Great Nigerian people! Great Nigerian people! Great! Mama no dey o! Baba no dey o!
If they want to
Fire me, take my joy. I will never support you, Jonathan o. Mama no dey o! Baba no dey o! If you want to fire me, make I die. I will never support you, Jonathan o. Baba no dey o! Mama no dey o! If you want to fire me, make I die. I will never support you, Jonathan o. Baba no dey o! Mama no dey o! If you want to fire me, make I die. I will never support you, Jonathan o. Great Nigerian people!
Great.
Great Nigerian people!
Great.
My name is Tino Bendel.
Alright, that's nice. I mean, what do you have to say about this protest that's going on? What do you have to say about Nigeria, the way it's going, and the way like everything is just
First things first, everyone knows what's going on with Nigeria. There's been gross mismanagement by the leadership of Nigeria. They have squandered our resources, and they have also made so many bad decisions. They've borrowed a lot of money from these financial institutions like the World Bank, the IMF, and they've squandered the money and not used it on the actual people, investing it in the people, in infrastructure and things that the actual nation needs itself. Now, with a crisis like this subsidy right now, it puts the average Nigerian Nigerian in such a strain. We're on the verge of losing the life that we have right now, the quality of life that we have because of the decision of so many few. So that's why wherever you are, if you're in Nigeria, if you're abroad in the diaspora, you need to stand up and fight and do whatever you can.
All right. So but I'm when I was doing that, I didn't know, what does the president have to do with it? Is he against us, or he's with us, or anything? What does Goodluck Jonathan and Ngozi have to do with this?
Well, first things first is everything starts at the top with the leadership. Right. There is no way someone in government is going to make an executive decision like that affects all of the Nigerians that the president is not involved in it. And so ultimately, Goodluck is involved in this stuff. Whether he was the bearer of the bad news or whether he used another agency to do that, it doesn't matter. He is the one in charge of Nigeria. He's the one responsible for making the decisions, for looking after the welfare of the people, and this has not been done.
We have a president that never listens. We have a president that never listens. Never listens. We are saying
First things first, our history, if you look at the history of Nigeria and the development of Nigeria, ever since our independence, we've not had one set of leadership that actually did anything for the people. If you look at 80% of the infrastructure in Nigeria, your roads, your bridges, and the major infrastructure are things that were built pre-independence, or the wheels were put in motion in the time of before independence. Most of these people haven't done all these things. The roads are horrible, the infrastructures are horrible, they've not invested in anything. Nigerian hospitals are jokes. You can't get treatment. Even the leaders themselves, there's not one governor, not one senator or ex-president who has been treated even for a common cold in Nigeria. They go to Dubai, they go to London because they never put any money into the country. So Nigeria has always been a very lovely place. A lot of Nigerians came to the States and to the UK in the 70s because the Nigerian money was stronger than anything. In the 70s, it was 50 kobo Nigerian money for $1 US. Right now, it is $1 US for almost 160 of our naira. So that just shows you the inflation and what has happened with the economy. And of course, that affects everything. It affects the person in the village. It affects the students. Listen, if we don't stand up and fight and repeal these type of things, there's not going to be a Nigeria for any of us. Not for you, not for me, not for anybody. Because things are going to get too rough, and when things get too rough, people start making stupid decisions. There's going to be civil unrest. The other bigger issues, you've got issues of Boko Haram and terrorism. The Nigerian government is so concerned about the wrong things and passing laws about the wrong thing. Now, I'm not a gay person, but they just passed a law in Nigeria that they want a gay person to go to prison. Now, instead of them to pass a law on terrorism, they're dealing with the gay people. How many? It doesn't. This shows you where the priorities are for this government. And that's what needs to be done. I think the youth needs to stand up. We need to speak up for what's going on in our country, and we need to take charge of our government. We need to be more involved in the process. Because the only options right now after this peaceful protest and what we're doing is going to be an armed struggle. It's going to be an armed struggle. That's the only thing. And we don't want it to come to that, because these things really don't solve anything. They cause more problems. But when people's backs are put to the wall, that's what's going to happen. Well,
You know, for me, it's more than just fuel subsidy removal. It's about all of the issues that have plagued the Nigerian community for decades. The government for years has been working against the people of Nigeria by fattening their own pockets and impoverishing the country. And it's about time that these things come to an end. I think fuel subsidy is probably, for me, the straw that broke the camel's back. But we've taken to the streets before for Light Up Nigeria. We've taken to the streets before for Enough is Enough, back when Yar'Adua was sick. And actually, we marched on the streets to put the current regime in place because they didn't want them to take over power. But now you have a situation where overnight on January 1st, they made life twice as hard for the average Nigerian. The average Nigerian lives on $2 a day. We're not the average Nigerian guy. You know, the average Nigerian lives on $2 a day. You can't make life 2-3 times as hard and not expect a backlash. If you're going to remove fuel subsidy, you have to put certain measures in place. You have to start building a refinery. You have to start building refineries that work so that fuel can be provided at low cost because we're refining it ourselves. You have to take care of light in Nigeria. If we had electricity, you wouldn't need to run your generator all the time. You have to take care of healthcare. You have to take care of security. We're dealing with Boko Haram now, not just armed robbers, and the government chooses not to address any of these things, but the first thing they do is make life 2 or 3 times as hard. When you increase the price of fuel overnight like that, food becomes more expensive, transportation becomes more expensive. The man who's earning 15,000, 18,000 naira a month, it's now twice as hard for him to eat and for him to take care of his family and for him to get to work. And that is unfair in any area of the world at any point in time, and is not right. And we're standing up against that injustice. But not just that injustice, we're standing up against the fact that the government is saying that they've spent $16 billion on light in the past how many years, and we still have no light in Nigeria. I mean, there's no problem in this world that $16 billion cannot fix, as far as I'm concerned. But they tell us these lies over and over again. If you look at the budget that the federal government put in place for 2012, it is mind-blowing how every line item is a joke. In every small office, 25 million for photocopy machine, 15 million for scanner. In every small office, you know, 200 and something million for the renovation of this building. It's just like they're just line items of just thievery, left, right, and center, and we never, you know, we never say anything about it. And I think, you know, right now enough is enough. You cannot say the country is broke and the government every year is appropriating millions and billions of naira for trips around the world for them and their constituents. The presidency has 767 or thereabout aides. How much assistance does one regime need that you need 700 and something presidential aides? You understand? So these are the things that we're standing against.
Well, I mean, it's an honor to be able to stand in solidarity with Nigeria. I mean, me personally, I started occupying to stand in solidarity with other nations that are rising up in complete disgust with what this nation and other nations have done to their nation, and I stand in total solidarity with the rest of the world. Today is the 1-year anniversary of the Tunisian uprising. It was just the beginning of a spark that lit up the whole world, and we're here and we're going to keep on coming out and we're going to keep on working together to make this world better.
We're standing against wasteful spending by the government. We're standing against the fact that we still have no light. We're standing against the fact that there's no health care, no basic education, there's no amenity in Nigeria. And neighboring countries, Ghana can remove fuel subsidy because they're taking care of their citizens. Nigeria is not doing the same, and it's time for Nigerians to wake up. And we're glad that people are finally hitting the streets. I know, I mean, it's freezing weather in New York, and people still came out and are just, you know, in discomfort to kind of stand in solidarity with the people back home. I was part of those protests and part of this as well. And it's a movement. It's not an overnight thing. We are going to get there. Nigeria will change. You know, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but if we continue to stay the course, we will get to where we want to go, and Nigeria will be a better place. Sorry, I talked too much.
Oh, it's okay. It was nice. It was nice it came out because not a lot of people came out. It was really nice.
Definitely. I mean, anything for, you know, a better Nigeria, anything for change in Nigeria, I'll always be a part of it, whatever I can do. So I'm here standing in solidarity with my Nigerians in New York, as well as my Nigerians back home, and I believe that we will make Nigeria a better place.